Sorry, Rav Avrohom. My first problem is it's very hard to talk to boys that don't have a smile on their face. A person has to smile. Life is so good. What's there to be so... It's the first thing in the world is you get up in the morning, you have to smile. Smile that you're able to get up. Smile that you're able to walk around. You have so much to be happy about. Doesn't it? At least some of you responded, it's also good. You know what? I'm going to ask, who wants to offer to ask a question? What we should talk about today? Anybody wants to offer a question? A hard question, a question that bothers you.
Anybody have a tough question you'd like to ask their own?
Oh.
So what's the difference from us believing that we're the chosen ones and that our religion is true and real, and Muslims or Christian people thinking the same thing, saying that, oh, they're the chosen one, they pray 5 times a day or whatever it is, and they think that they're the true and real ones.
You have a problem, you have that problem when you're asking that question abstractly.
I mean, it's not like argument, like I know that we're obviously, like, we're the real ones, but how is that, what's the difference from us thinking that and Muslim people or Christian people thinking that?
I can tell you something very simple. The Christian people have something called the New Testament, yeah? And they believe the New Testament is what? They have an Old Testament, they believe they were right. But there came a New Testament afterwards, right? In what language is the New Testament written?
English.
What?
English.
There was no English at that time. If there would be written English, it would be really a problem. What language was it printed? Written. It was written in Aramaic. In Aramaic. Okay? Now, there are Aramaic words that are in question what they mean. There are about 40 books written by Catholic priests and theologians on the Aramaic language. Why? Because they argued what the words mean. If it means this or it means this. So there's whole lines in the New Testament that there's argument how you translate it. If you don't believe me, there's a book called, from Rabbi Kaplan, what's it called, the book on the Living Torah. You look in the back, the books that he took from, you'll see he took from Catholic people who wrote on Aramaic. So you can look up the books if you want to know if it's true. So if there's something in their testament that they don't know what it means, then it can't be the truth. It can't be words that have no meaning. Till today there's an argument if it's true or it's not true. So I'm proving you, just to prove you that it can't be the ultimate truth that came from Shemayim, because it seems that there's an argument what they mean. And the argument goes from all the way to the right to all the way to the left. That's one thing. The Muslim religion, there's no need to talk about. Why? Who wrote the Quran? You know? Muhammad was an epileptic, an alphabetic. Muhammad was epileptic, and when he had an epileptic seizure, they thought that he had a nevuah. And he was alphabetic, he didn't know how to speak, and he didn't know how to write. He had a Jewish secretary that wrote him the Quran. And the Jewish secretary wanted that no Jew should ever have an Nisayan to become a Muslim. So he filled it up with stupidities and with jokes. So that it should be something that everybody should see it's not true. For instance, it says that Ishmael went up to the Akedah, not Yitzchak. All kinds of funny things he made. Why? So the Jew will know this is not for me. A New Testament is a New Testament. You play with the Old Testament, then you know it's not for me, because the Old Testament I know is the truth. So both the Muslim religion and the Christian religion are from themselves proven that they're not true. I can tell you other ways also, but that's not necessary. It's not necessary the whole conversation, but you asked. I want you to tell you that there's facts that you can't even argue about. Next question. Come on. You have a lot in your heart. Tell me one question you have.
May I ask you a question?
If somebody feels they have a lot to improve on, is there anything specific what he should choose to work on? He's overwhelmed. There's so many things.
Okay. What does tshuva mean? Let me tell you what tshuva means for you, for me, for all of us. Tshuva means taking a U-turn. Taking a U-turn. Taking the direction that I'm going. Tshuva doesn't mean stopping everything I'm doing, because as we just said, there's so much to change, I can't change it one day. True. But you have to know which direction you're headed, which way you're going. On the highway, you could go one way, you could go another way. You could go one way on the highway that leads you down, 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 and it's going to leave you one thing, bring to the next, bring to the next. Or you could make a U-turn and start traveling in the other direction. Tshuva means starting to travel the other direction. And my goal is not to go down, my goal is to go up. And those things that are pulling me down, I'm going to make a decision that I'm not going to involve myself in those things that are pulling me down. For instance, I'm going to talk very openly. There's a various a person does that are various. Shabbos, not wearing tzitzis, not wearing tefillin. There are various. There are various. But those affairs don't pull you down. Those affairs are various. Those affairs are a way of life that if you continue that way, you're going to go further and further and further. For instance, going into places that are made for mixing and made for involvement one with another and made to break the gedarim of being a yid, being something that has a little bit of kedusha to himself, listening to things that are degrading to a person. Those kind of things are the things that are the first and foremost the things that a person has to stop. Why? Because that'll bring down next. So what are you going to have? You're going to do tshuva. But the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing is going to come automatically. You can't tell me, I'm going to talk, you're going to argue with what I talk. But I'll say it very clearly. You can't tell me that Saturday night or Thursday night at 1 o'clock you're going to go into a store that has mixed boys and girls right here in the neighborhood and stand there and talk and then spend your time till 2, 3 in the morning. And it shouldn't affect you to go down the drain. You can't go on a conference with boys and girls and it shouldn't feel that it's going to affect you and take you down the drain. There are certain things that a person has to know that this is not healthy for me. There are certain things that are mitzvahs that I have to get used to doing, I have to get used to not doing. But there are certain things that are pulling a person completely in the wrong direction. Those things that are taking a person in the wrong direction, that he has to make a U-turn and go in the right direction. That a clear answer? Anybody has questions on what I just said?
Let's say that happens, that you're like hanging out with boys and girls.
I can hear.
Let's say that you're hanging out with boys and girls, but at a certain point you want to do teshuva, but you meet your wife. How are you going to do teshuva that you're hanging out with boys and girls, but you let the living life?
If a person went to such an event, it was a mixed event, and he wants to do tshuva from that type of thing, but it turns out that by going to such a thing, he ended up meeting his wife.
What age are we talking about? Huh?
I don't know, 16, 17?
You're not meeting your wife at 16, 17. Like I said, you're meeting your wife at 16, 17, you're meeting a girl that you're having relations with her, whatever relations you have with her. That's not something that's going to bring you to marry her. Not at 16, 17. You talk to me 19, 20, 19, 18, 19, 20 maybe. Let me tell you something. There's such a language in the world called the red line. Yeah? You know what a red line means? You don't know what a red line means? Nobody knows what a red line means? You know what a red line means?
Do you want to get a car?
What?
Like in a car, like when you're running a car.
The red line means that I make myself a line that I'm not going, till here I'm going to go, further I'm not going to go. Every person makes himself a red line. I'm going to do A, B, C. D I'm not going to do. D I'm not going to do. I'm not going to go past D, C. And A, B, C, no. I'll do tshuva one day on A, B, C. But D I won't do. There's no such thing. There's no such thing because we're not strong. We're made out of flesh and blood. We're not made out of iron. All of us have flesh and blood, and all of us have taivas. And you can't go to the end and think that you're going to be by the red line and stop by the red line. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So it doesn't pay to go to the red line because when you go to the red line, you go over the red line. Understood what I said? Understood? Ask this tzaddik what he's upset about. Why are you putting on your heads? I'm talking not sense? Huh?
I don't know.
Anybody else has to answer? Is there anything to ask? Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question. I know the Nisyanis, I know very well the Nisyanis of today's generation. Maybe I shouldn't be doing it, but I'm dealing with it most of my days. The Rebbe gave us a mitzvah of tzitzis. Yeah? It says in the Gemara Mesechtes Menachos. It says in the Gemara Mesechtes Menachos that there was a person that wanted to do an Aveira. Not he wanted to do an Aveira, he traveled very far to do an Aveira. And it cost him a lot of money. And he was already completely undressed to do an Aveira. And the tzitzis came from the floor and gave him a slap in his face and told him and woke him up that he's doing the wrong thing. Why was he zeicher to that? Why was he zeicher to that? It says in Mefarshim because he was nither mitzvah tzitzis. He was nither mitzvah tzitzis, so the tzitzis repaid him by saving him from an Aveira. The Eibishter gave us a mitzvah called tzitzis, and he promised us that the tzitzis will make you remember HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Promised us the mitzvahs will make you remember that who you are. And the mitzvahs will give you a protection that you won't go and involve yourself in the wrong thing. I never understood why it's so hard for Bachram to wear tzitzis. Until I understood that's the biggest protection that they have, so the Yetzirah doesn't want them to wear it. It's the biggest protection. You could try it, you could have bid machshavas, you look at the tzitzis, you'll suddenly see they go away. I'm not joking. Tzitzis has a power from the HaKadosh Baruch Hu to give a person strength. That's what he gave them for. He gave them for that you should be able to see them and look at them and remind yourself that there's a Rebbeinu on the world. I wasn't going to speak about it till I saw this tzaddik's tzitzis. He reminded me that I should speak about tzitzis. Who's the tzaddik that I once bought tzitzis for? Where's the tzaddik that I once bought tzitzis for? You still wear tzitzis?
Right now.
The ones I bought you?
No, different one. It's our home though.
Huh?
It's our home though.
You know when I bought them tzitzis? You know about it? You know about it? You don't know about it? How many boys here need tzitzis? How many boys need a pair of tzitzis? Don't have a pair of tzitzis? The truth. There are nothing to be ashamed of. Whoever needs a pair of tzitzis, I'll talk to the manal and I'll give money for tzitzis. Okay, I don't have to know about it. You don't have to be ashamed of me.
What does the Rav think about techeles?
I have no opinion. It says the pasuk in Tehillim, Tamu ru'u ki tov Hashem. Taste it and you'll see it's good. Tamu, taste it. Have a taste. Have a taste of Yiddishkeit. Feel it. Taste it. And you'll see how good it is. It's coming Yom Kippur. Most of you dread Yom Kippur fast 24 hours. A hard day. You have to be in shul. You don't have what to do. Let me give you an eitzah. Let me give you an eitzah. Let me give you an eitzah for Yom Kippur. Fasting. Nothing is hard about fasting. You can fast 3 days in a row, it's not hard. Fast 4 days in a row, it's not hard. The world doesn't come on, you don't die from fasting. Unless you concentrate on it. 24 hours in shul, being in shul a whole day. Go out and buy yourself a book. A kosher book. Say daven, the parts of daven that you want to daven. The rest of the time sit in your place and read. Read a book about Yiddishkeit. Read a book about Amunah. Read a book about the history of a godly Israel. Just stay in B'tz Medicine. Don't do something else. Go buy a big book with 500 pages, or a small one with 200 pages, or a comic book with Yiddishkeit, whichever darga you're holding on and reading. Stay in shul, daven Shemona Esrei, daven Krishma, and the rest of the time read. You'll be in shul. It'll keep you out of trouble. You'll keep Yom Kippur the way it should be. Good eitzah? Yeah? You gonna do it? Where do you daven Yom Kippur? Where? Which Yom Kippur? Where? Which minyan? Downstairs or upstairs? Where is it? Where do you daven?
By far?
By phone, don't have your eye?
H.
H. There's a minion there?
Yeah.
Where do you daven?
Same place.
By phone can't walk, no?
7 circles.
He ever talks about his time that he was in Jordan, and you know such a thing that Rav was in Jordan on a plane? Okay. Tell Rabbi Fond, go to Rabbi Fond and tell him you want him to tell you the story when he was with the Arabs captive in Jordan with Rabbi Hutner together on one plane. Okay? You'll see what Judaism is about. You'll see what it means living as a Yid and captive on a plane. Okay? You going to ask him?
Yeah.
You know who his wife is? No. His wife's father was one of the biggest writers before the war. Hillel Zeidman, his name was. He was a writer in Warsaw. He was a writer in Warsaw. He wrote a lot about Polish Judaism. Came from her also a lot of inspiration. She's a therapist, no? Psychologist. If you daven in a place, you have to know the rabbi and the rabbis and learn from them. Will you daven tzaddik?
No stream. There's a shul. The rabbi's name is Rav Moshe Meyer.
Svardish shul? How many people daven there?
People, I'm not sure, but there's always a minyan there.
Very good. You, where you daven?
Rabbi Galsworth.
You get tired from the long davening, no? Take a book and read. A Yiddish book, or something that has Judaism to it. Where you daven tzaddik?
Me? For Akboy, Kihilas or Chadash.
Who is that?
We created a minion for Yom Narod.
Created a minyan?
We wanted something more than what we had around us. Yep.
How many people daven there?
We had about 70 men. Rosh Hashanah?
who took
You
care?
heard of Mashpia.
Who?
Rabbi Erlantz.
Who done for the Amid?
His name was Mordechai Levavitz and David Levin.
David Levin down to Musaf?
Yup.
I hear. Very good tzaddikim. A little bit, I hope I gave you inspiration what to do. And two things. I sit a whole day, at the longest day, she gives me koyach 5 blocks away from me. You can come and bother me whenever you want. The door is always open. If not, there's a combination of the door, it's easy to break in. And I'm always available to schmooze, to talk your heart out. If I need help. Okay, tzaddikim. You should have a gemach simetev. And let me give you just one piece of information. A person could do everything in the world wrong. Let's give the worst scenario. But there's one thing wrong, one thing that's more wrong than that. Making somebody else do something wrong. Opening up the eyes of somebody else. Opening the eyes of somebody else. I'm begging by you. Don't open the eyes of somebody else. Don't think that what you know somebody else knows. Don't think what somebody else saw, what you saw somebody else saw. Don't think that information that you have somebody else has. Keep whatever you have to yourself. As long as you don't get rid of it. But don't tell somebody else to do it. Achayti and machti is the most chomerdik thing there is in the Torah. The worst avera there is to be a machti. And to tell you the truth, that in our generation, that's one of the biggest problems. Because people don't know what they're doing. You know, the friend tells them, you know, there's this, there's that. And then one friend tells the other, and then it goes. If friends wouldn't tell friends that this is available, that's available, you could do this, you could do that, people would stay much purer, much better. So I beg you, please, don't influence anybody else. Whatever you do with HaKadosh Baruch Hu is one thing. Influencing somebody else, you're doing a very big damage to the world. A very big damage to the world, and it's not an easy thing to get rid of. Because you could do tshuva, but you can't get the other person to do tshuva. Remember that, you could do tshuva. But the person that you told there's this and this telephone number to call, the person you told there's this and this place to go, you can't do tshuva about whatever he does there. So we have to watch ourselves. Not to open the eyes of others and not to give others the idea what to do. And if we'll do that, and we'll be true, the Eibsh will help you, that you'll be able to have a gemach simetev, and that Yom Kippur should bring you good, and you should be able to raise yourself a little bit, and a little bit, and a little bit, until you get to where you have to get. Allah